This is the Copper Canyon, one of the world's least known natural wonders. Found deep in the mountains of northwestern Mexico, it is twice the size of the Grand Canyon. 2,000 meters deep at its highest point, it has been carved through the granite of this high relief over the course of 60 million years by the slow erosion of the Fuerte River. Deep into the Sierra Madre, a southern extension of the Rocky Mountains, it is accessed via El Chepe, one of the world's great train journeys, taking visitors in style to some of the country's best hotels, designed specifically for the admiration of this landscape. Yet, while the Grand Canyon in Arizona receives some 5 million visitors a year, a tiny fraction of that make it here. The Copper Canyon may rival any landscape on the planet, but Mexico's social problems have detracted from this natural beauty. The Sea of Cortez, a body of water between the Mexican mainland and the Baja California Peninsula. Described as the world's aquarium, its temperate waters and unique geography make it one of the richest corridors for marine wildlife anywhere on the planet. On its eastern shores sits the Mexican state of Sinaloa, where the painted houses on Topolobampo Hill look out over the mountain bay. Here, the fishermen prepare and sell the day's catch fresh on the seafront. Children bathe in paddling pools, and chickens photobomb the tourists. Further inland is the city of Los Mochis, where, early in the morning, a train sits in a station. This is El Chepe, one of the world's great train journeys, running across the rugged mountain chain and into the high plains of north-central Mexico. Maria de Lourdes is visiting from her hometown of Mexicali, on Mexico's border with California.
Pues este es un recorrido muy conocido para todos los mexicanos, es algo, bueno, pudiera decir como emblemático y bueno, pues es algo que se nos dice debemos de hacer por lo menos una vez en la vida.
It's a route which attracts tourism from across the globe. An abbreviation of the Chihuahua Pacific, El Chepe was first conceived in 1861 and completed 1 century later. Shipping freight arriving on the Pacific coast could be moved easily across the difficult terrain and into Mexico's industrial heartlands. But the route is so spectacular around the Barrancas del Cobre, a series of deep gorges slashed through the mountain plateau, collectively named the Copper Canyon, that tourism soon began to flourish along the route carved by the industrialists. Ramon Valenzuela is a tour guide in this region.
El turismo como tal empezó hace aproximadamente unos 30, 40 años, cuando sobre todo fue descubierto por el turismo extranjero. El turismo extranjero empezó a visitar cuando Ferromex o Chepe empezó a funcionar.
The Chepe Express, one of Mexico's few dedicated passenger trains, sails along Sinaloa's coastal plain before weaving into the foothills of the Sierra Madre. Guests play cards and dominoes as the train surges forward, eat lunch in the glass-domed dining car, and move gradually to the rear wagon, a panoramic bar setting where the increasingly spectacular terrain glides past.
Queríamos tener toda la experiencia completa y pues por el momento la verdad ha sido pues muy placentero. Tenemos acceso a este vagón que tiene vistas panorámicas y bueno, la comodidad de estar aquí, tenemos acceso a una comida y pues por este momento pues creo que toda la hospitalidad ha sido de lo mejor.
The train cuts a course through this region, terminating in the foothills on the eastern side of the mountains. The entire journey lasts 12 hours, costing just under $300 for the entire trip in first class. But most visitors descend at the halfway point in Bawichivo or Divisadero, indigenous settlements within striking distance of the Copper Canyon. Here, in the wild interior of Chihuahua State, the train moves on and the visitors prepare for the mountains. Copper Canyon National Park, consisting of 7 interconnected canyons covering an area of 60,000 square kilometers. Named the Copper Canyon for its earthy green colors similar to the rusted mineral, the attractions extend beyond the spectacular views alone. The world's longest zip line, at more than 2.5 kilometers, sends thrill seekers hurtling over the canyon.
Te las voy a pagar, eh?
A via ferrata, a form of rock climbing which protects climbers with metal guide ropes along the length of the route, traverses the sheer face of the cliffs.
Flexiona rodillas.
A swing traverse and sheer drops make it only for the boldest of visitors. And throughout the region, the breathtaking views and changing colours throughout the day make it one of Mexico's finest options for sheer natural beauty.
Y las barrancas del Cobre están catalogadas que son 2 veces más grande que el Gran Cañón de Arizona. Consideren primero, sobre todo, a las barrancas del Cobre y a México como su principal destino, y luego de aquí se vayan conociendo otros destinos.
In Divisadero, the Mirador Hotel was built in 1993, perched on the edge of a rocky outcrop overlooking the canyon.
El turismo, ya que es la principal fuente de ingresos tanto como para las personas como que trabajamos aquí en hoteles, guías independientes, gente que se dedica a la venta de artesanías, como mencionamos anteriormente, gente que vende la comida típica.
While organised tourism here has only existed since the 1990s, the arrival of visitors has made contact with Mexico's most reclusive and charismatic indigenous tribe. While this majestic terrain may be remote to the outside world, it has been inhabited for millennia.
Los Raramuris o Tarahumaras, como se les conoce. Aquí en la Sierra Tarahumara tenemos un número estimado de 120,000 Raramuris.
These are the Tarahumara, an indigenous tribe of nomadic people native to these remote highlands. A culture rich in ancestral knowledge and fiercely guarded traditions has allowed them to live almost entirely secluded from the rest of Mexico, and in the manner their ancestors have for thousands of years. Juan Cruz is representative of this community.
Pues antes, ancestrales que vivían aquí las gente, fue muy antes, de mis abuelos, ancestros. Aquí lo que vivimos, pues más a gusto, tranquilos. Sembramos también maíz, frijol, calabaza, todo eso, y con eso vivimos también.
Raramuri means light feet in their indigenous language, and with good reason. The inhabitants of the Sierra Tarahumara are some of the world's most gifted runners.
No usaban ni el carro, no les gustaban andar pues así, se mantenían por ahí en el monte nomás. Hay unos que sí les gustan, hasta corren cuando van caminando. Así pues, en la subida en la montaña, con que no le pesa nada pues.
The Raramuris' fame as gifted runners first came to light in 2016 when Arnulfo Quimare finished the Boston Marathon in 3 hours and 38 minutes, wearing just the simple sandals fashioned from used car tires used by his tribe. The Raramuri have excelled in ultramarathons, more than double the length of the traditional race, across far more difficult terrain. Running is an essential part of their culture and upon which their traditional sports are based. Agreeing upon a set distance covered over the course of 24 to 72 hours, racers must move an object over the course as they run. A wooden ball moved with the feet in the case of the men, and 2 interlinking rings flicked with a stick by the women. The traditional race marks the start of ancestral festivities in which ritual dancing is a spectacle.
Las danzas, lo que hicimos ahorita es una danza, los que bailamos, ponemos coronas aquí y otros tocan violín. Y otros las guitarras, así nos pasamos en las fiestas para hacer las fiestas, y entonces quiere decir que el diablo, que no queremos pues que esté debajo de la tierra, y entonces pues que se vaya a un lado.
The Raramuris feel a deep connection to these lands, which their tribes have inhabited for thousands of years.
Aquí en la montaña pues me gusta vivir pues aquí, porque allá en la ciudad, aunque no está muy bien, pues mucho humos, muchas cosas, pues carros los que hay pues ahí, enfermedad también. Acá en la sierra casi no hay enfermedad. Y luego cuando nos enfermamos nosotros también tenemos plantas medicinales aquí también, porque antes los que vivían aquí, las gentes, con eso lo curaban también. Antes lo curaban con medicamentos naturales así.
Despite being a natural wonder to rival the Grand Canyon, few people have ever heard of the Copper Canyon. While Mexico may be one of the world's most visited tourist destinations, receiving more than 45 million international visitors a year, the crowds tend to stick to the beaches. Northern Mexico, where words and regions like Sinaloa, Ciudad Juárez, and Tijuana conjure instant connotations with drug cartels and violence, has struggled to attract the visitors it perhaps deserves.
Hay turistas o personas en el mundo donde realmente reconocen las maravillas que nuestro país tiene que ofrecer, pero hay muchísima gente que se inclina más por escuchar a lo mejor algunas de las cuestiones negativas, ¿no? Que lamentablemente sí sufrimos en nuestro país, como cuestiones de inseguridad o de violencia.
Such fears are not unfounded. This church in Cerro Cawi, a main stop on the Copper Canyon tourism route, was the scene of a massacre in 2021, during which 2 Jesuit priests were murdered, shot dead as they attempted to shelter a man running from his assailant inside the building. It's an issue the locals have struggled to get past.
Sí impactó tal cual, pero no fue algo que se podría relacionar directamente con el turismo. Afectó de manera directa, pero se podría decir que fue un caso aislado, ya que está catalogado por ser, aquí en México, piensan que es un lugar inseguro, que es totalmente lo contrario. Todos dependemos del turismo. Sin turistas no seríamos lo que hoy en día es Barrancas del Cobre.
The Cerro Cawi massacre was an isolated incident, and the Raramuris are some of Mexico's most peaceful tribes, existing alongside nature in one of its most spectacular creations.
Pues claro que sí, adelante le dijimos nosotros, para que lo vean, a ver, me da consciente con todo el corazón, pues que estamos aquí viviendo a gusto, tranquilos también. Y para mucha gente dicen que está muy bonito para acá en el Barrancos, dicen que está muy padre acá en esta parte.